going on? This is Blair Caffey from Honor Roll Clothing, and this is Study Breaks. Study Breaks is a segment where we break down the current theme in the collection that we're releasing. And what we tend to do is we bring in some friends from the industry, colleagues of ours, and we both discuss the product itself as well as we discuss the concept and the theme and how it actually relates to the things that we're all going through at our current state. Chris Duncan.
Hey, I'm Chris Duncan, Director of Marketing for Honor Roll Clothing. I'm here to talk about the current collection, talk about some current events, and how those two things intersect.
And I guess I should say that I'm head of production, CEO, so yeah.
I don't even think you said your name.
Oh, well, my name is Blair Caffey, so there we go.
Very cool. So yeah, man, what we got going on?
This year is what, continued education?
Continued education for the entire year, 4 quarters.
All right, 4 quarters. So right now we're talking about history, right?
Yeah.
And February obviously being Black History Month.
Yeah.
All right, so I guess first thing for you, like, what is your personal connection with Black History Month?
Black History Month is my history. I mean, I'm Black, and
You are?
I am, and I mean, I'm just regular Black. I ain't no Caribbean.
Not my kind of Black.
Yeah, I'm just regular Black. So Black history is the only thing that I can really say that my family took root in. Being descendants of slaves, like many Black Americans, it was very difficult to find and trace back our roots just because of record keeping.
Yeah.
And so Black history became our voice. It became our cry. I mean, I grew up celebrating Kwanzaa. I grew up taking rites of passages and Swahili and all that fun stuff. So to be pro-Black in my household is just regular foundation.
That's what's up. I know for me, I sit in this weird place because obviously everything that you said about just our history being here in America, how crazy that is. But obviously, like growing up in the late '80s, early '90s, like there was this disconnect between what we saw with the Civil Rights Movement, prominent both African American men and women, in the community. There's this scene in Boys in the Hood where Trey's trying to tell the whole class, like, y'all all from Africa. And one of the kids is like, I ain't from Africa, I'm from Crenshaw Mafia.
Yeah.
And like, so for me, like that's been the tension that I've kind of lived in, both as it relates to, our history, as well as like how I actually live that out currently. Like I'm aware of these systemic evils that plagued our country. And then at the same time, there's this disconnect, between like where we actually come from, which, unfortunately, a lot of us don't know.
Yeah, that's for real.
But in saying that, you're head of marketing.
Yeah.
Right. So kind of explain a little bit on what we're doing with this particular collection with history.
Yeah, with history, continued education history is all about telling our story. And we found out firsthand traveling overseas that there's a disconnect between people internationally thinking about what Black is, what American is. And until like literally traveling, I didn't realize that no, everyone else calls us American, but here in America, we don't claim this. And so we don't see ourselves as Americans. For the most part, we see ourselves as Black. And so I wanted to tell the history. I feel like we skipped past Blacks' contribution to America a lot, and so I just wanted to tell that history. And as you know, our entire brand focus is contemporary Americana because, unfortunately, historically speaking, and even currently, the voice of Black people has just been omitted, and it has been our stories have been told by other people, and we go from slavery to Jim Crow to the Civil Rights Movement to crack. And it's just all about our story is told through the lens of oppression all the time. So this was to really highlight yes, we definitely have oppression and systematic oppression, but we still here. Like we arrived on boats and we still here. We were property, we were 3/5 a person, and we're still here. So
not only we stay here, but now there's this phase where we have an ownership now.
Absolutely, absolutely, for the first time in history.
That's what's up, man. So for you, like, what is, I know like we're gonna go take a walk through some of the pieces today, right? Obviously we have our collegiate sweater, which has our staple honor on crew neck, and we also have a little bit more of a controversial piece. Well, I'll say a statement piece.
Yeah.
So we have a statement piece that, we want to dive into a little bit more, but, for you, like, what does honor mean?
Yeah, I think honor is always covering and holding yourself in integrity. Mm-hmm. And when I say covering, I literally mean that everything you do should be blanketed in integrity. How is this going to affect my family? How is this going to affect future generations? How does this look for my legacy? And just always making sure that when no one is looking, when everyone is looking, that you're holding yourself to that same degree of excellence. And so, for me, when we talk about honor roll, of course, it should, in America at least, we found out in London, it doesn't translate too well, but in America, it should trigger this field of academia, and being on honor roll is the highest level that you can achieve. And so in life, we want to create honor roll students, and honor just literally means that you don't disgrace literally everybody that came before you, and you hold that place down for the people coming after you.
Yeah. That's what's up, man. I know for me, and I think you already spoke to it just about integrity.
Yeah.
And I think that there's a reality in which like you can kind of pretend if you want, especially in the age of social media, especially with people having the ability to project their best selves.
Yeah.
But integrity, like you said, is like who you are when no one's looking.
Yeah.
Right. And I think especially with us being in business, I mean, we're in our 10th year right now, and we have seen what it looks like, and even I'm sure prior to being in business, like what happens when a person doesn't have integrity.
Absolutely.
When they're not honorable, like that. Your name, like, is your name, and that reputation is going to travel a whole lot further than you would expect. This nigga here, like, like your name and your reputation, it precedes you, and so for me, I've always tried my best just as a human, as a man, to make sure that I'm living in a way that is honoring people, right? That's honoring, like I said, like my family and the people who came and put it down before me. I think all of us, like, we're image bearers of God, right? Mm-hmm. And so regardless on like differences, or regardless on even people intentionally trying to be harmful, like there is a certain level of honor and respect. Absolutely. That I think everyone should always get. And so like now when you start talking about honor roll, and even when I was in my dorm room at Albany State, just kind of like trying to put this initial thought and idea together, like for me, like that was a narrative that was so important to communicate. I think the stuff that we're doing right now is talking about that is just from, again, at this current juncture, what does honor look like in history? Where has there not been honor shown to us? How has that made us respond, in light of, injustices, and in light of oppression, and in light of, all these things that, make up this broken world, so, for me, like wearing that honor on your chest, like that's saying a whole lot.
Yeah, absolutely. That's right.